I am beyond pumped to bring you this report today. Barry Loudermilk on your screen, just a fraction of the story we're going to be discussing and its relation to Liz Cheney that led to headlines you've seen everywhere. FBI should probe potential Liz Cheney witness tampering in January 6th matter. House Republicans say, but there's so much more to that. It's really focused in part around this Cassidy Hutchinson testimony. But it is this interim report, the 127 pages that I went through for you, detail by detail, and we find within it something we didn't expect to see. These indictments were everywhere, from Cheney to Miller to Smith. On a separate issue, we now have an indictment against Garland, Trudeau, Starmer. Everything is crumbling under the power of Donald J. Trump. But again, in the very back pages of this report, we learned something we didn't expect to see about the Gallows and the pipe bomb. And that's just a portion of the story I'm going to bring you here in just 1 minute. So what happened to British Prime Minister Starmer and Justin Trudeau? Well, Starmer's ratings are the worst you can imagine. 61% of his people dissatisfied. See, you can't just tax people into oblivion to support your agenda, just like Justin Trudeau. And so what we're going to be looking at next, Nigel Farage, well, probably he just showed up in Mar-a-Lago, didn't he? Stories are pretty easy to follow right now. It appears there is a rumbling in the global order now, isn't there? Trudeau's government on the brink of collapse. In this Breitbart article, they go on all about freedom and how she resigned to take an honest and viable path. She calls out in her letter, her resignation letter, of course. What did she refer to? Our country faces grave challenges because Trump is threatening a 25% tariff, and we need to take that seriously. But Trudeau's not taking it seriously. Trump doesn't take the finance minister seriously either. The great state of Canada, gotta love it, is stunned as the finance minister resigns or was fired from her position by Governor Justin Trudeau. He is not letting off of this, but he knew there was a weakness. He exposed a weakness, and it is fracturing. More is happening under Donald J. Trump in the months since he's been elected than has happened under the entire Biden administration, at least more towards protecting the America First agenda. Because the global causes are fracturing across the globe, which are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed, and she won't. If you want to just get a sense of what Canadians feel about Justin Trudeau, listen in here for a minute.
You've sold us out to globalism.
Okay.
You are not working for Canada. You are working for your globalist partners. I wonder how much they're paying you to betray Canada. Okay. What do we do with traitors in Canada, Mr. Trudeau? We used to hang them for treason. And you're doing that very same thing to us now. Okay. You've sold.
That is the sentiment that is being felt and now heard everywhere. The world is changing. But it's not only going to be the world now, is it? Now there's going to be a lot of domestic change. Trump wants to fire federal workers who don't return to the office, calls telework deal ridiculous. What was it, 80+% don't even work in government? They're all working out of the house? Man, COVID changed a lot, but then they all took advantage of it. And the government never changed anything, just hand out those paychecks because it appears buying favors and favoritism is the way the U.S. government works now, huh? But it didn't work for AOC. No, the Republicans turned the tables on her, didn't they? They said she would be the best thing ever to be appointed to the top oversight committee post. And it was genius because the Democrats immediately rebelled and reject AOC for that very important post. That's unfortunate because she would have helped us so much. But nonetheless, everyone's being exposed now. The truth is being exposed. Remember the story I brought you about Crescent Dunes, the Obama project brought to the middle of the desert that never worked, continued to melt down, continued not to function, but millions continued to be funneled to the project even after continual failures. And so the Biden Department of Justice did something good initially. We're going to sue this project because the taxpayers paid for it. And we need to know what happened to all the money. But then in cover of darkness, right on election night, they pull the lawsuit. Department of Justice does. Well, guess who's being called to task on that pulling of the lawsuit? Merrick Garland. The Honorable Merrick Garland, I'm writing to express my concerns and seek clarification regarding the recent motion filed by the Department of Justice to intervene and dismiss the False Claims Act lawsuit by CMB Export against Tonopah Solar Energy. What specific facts or circumstances led the department to determine that dismissing this case is commiserate with the public interest? There isn't any. Now it appears that another initiative fell to the wayside, and rather than have Trump and his cronies, as they like to call them, pursue this further, let's just make it disappear. But sorry, you have all of us out here who aren't going to allow anything to disappear. Given the significant taxpayer losses alleged in the case, how does the department justify its claim that discovery and litigation obligations would impose an undue burden on the Treasury, Department of Energy, and DOJ? We want answers, and we want it now because the world is a-changing. Trump effect is being felt everywhere, from global world politics all the way down to Disney. The Hollywood Reporter, Disney pulls transgender storyline from Pixar's Win or Lose streaming series. Now, why did they go and do that? They've shown no history of doing that so far. But now they're going to change direction suddenly. Everybody capitulating with the Trump agenda. Mark Zuckerberg showing up, wanting to be friends. You see the power of truth, reality. It changes everything. But truth is not what they ever wanted you to hear. The interim report, keyword. There's another report coming out behind this. But a lot of people won't dive in. They don't want to read the 128 pages. But I wake up at 3 in the morning to make sure I could bring it and recap it to you so you don't have to read them all. A high-level overview. Former Representative Liz Cheney concluded with the star witness Cassidy Hutchinson without Hutchinson's attorney's knowledge. Former Representative Liz Cheney should be investigated for potential criminal witness tampering based on the new information about her communication. Ouch. You want 4, 5, 6, 7? There's more. But I got to ask you a favor first. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Those of you who support me here, thank you. It truly is the only way this news can continue to be brought to you. I don't use advertisers or sponsors. I want to be in control of my own message here and at Restricted Republic. My Restricted Republic family today, and I hope you join. You get 14 days for free so you can view it. We'll go into an extended, detailed version of this broadcast where we will go page by page through the 128 pages because there is things in there you can't afford to miss. It's what we do at Restricted. We do the in-depth analysis, referenced and researched at all times, no commercials, no interruptions. And rather than just ask for your support, I want to give you more news. And that's what Lisa Haven and I do at Restricted Republic. Want you there today. Use Christmas code Christmas24. Get $3.99 a month for each month for 12 months. Plus 14 days for free. Come and see why so many thousands and top of thousands have joined us there because they got one source for news. They don't have to watch or get all the notifications. And that place is Restricted. Republic.com, Christmas24, monthly discount code, $3.99 a month for 12 months, 14 days for free. And you'll get to see every detail of the 128 pages. And what's hidden within it is absolute truth. Nobody wanted you to hear. Get there today. But now let's get back to this broadcast. So moving on, Cassidy Hutchinson's most outrageous claim lacked any evidence. And the Select Committee had knowledge that her claims were false when they publicly promoted her. President Trump did not attack his Secret Service detail, which we do because we saw the testimony. President Trump did not have intelligence indicating violence in the morning of January 6th, which we knew because we saw the transcripts. Cassidy Hutchinson falsely claimed to have a handwritten note for President Trump on January 6th. There's a whole lot more than that that's not true. Representative Cheney and Hutchinson baselessly attempted to disbar Hutchinson's former attorney. And now they gave you the evidence to show it. She hired a new attorney under the recommendation of Liz Cheney. What a disaster for Liz. Former Representative Liz Cheney used the January 6th Select Committee as a tool to attack President Trump at the cost of investigating integrity and Capitol security because she was appointed to that committee, wasn't she? Is she the one who was supposed to be in that spot? Study the details, you'll find out every little way they went around the rules. The January 6th Select Committee was improperly constituted and lacked authority. The committee neglected or withheld evidence, over a terabyte of evidence, now gone, disappeared. They didn't preserve them. The Department of Defense scapegoated the Washington, D.C. National Guard to distract blame from senior leadership, and they proved that out for you. They give you text in this report. I know you're busy. One of Hutchinson's close contacts, with a contact to Liz Cheney. But is there a chance you've touched base with anyone about what we talked about Tuesday night? That's Hutchinson. Alyssa responds, yeah. So I reached out to Liz. She agreed to keep our convo totally confidential. She said she admires you and could tell you wanted to do the right thing from your testimony. The two testimonies they did on the record. They just did one off the record in old Liz's office. And that there presents a problem, and it really presents a problem when you help to find new legal representation. What a disaster. Amazing how the truth comes out that we reported so long ago. It's nice to see it validated. Of course, Liz Cheney comes out, get a little aggravated. Still indicts Trump, a cruel and vindictive man who allowed violent attacks to continue. You see how much he despises him. Now Chairman Loudermilk's interim report intentionally disregards the truth, because the only one who has the truth is the Select Committee, of course. Never those doing the investigation, never those on the opposite side of the aisle, only Liz Cheney and the Select Committee. No reputable lawyer, legislator, or judge would take this seriously because I, Liz Cheney, say so, but Liz, they're not backing off now. I read the report. It's a disaster for you. It's a disaster for Miller. It's a disaster for Smith. And so many others, because it exposes, well, let me show you what it exposes. Evidence uncovered by the subcommittee revealed that former Congresswoman Liz Cheney tampered with at least one witness, Cassidy Hutchinson, by secretly communicating with Hutchinson without Hutchinson's attorney's knowledge, the report continued. This secret communication with the witness is improper and likely violates 18 U.S.C. 1512. Such action is outside the due functioning of the legislative process and therefore not protected by the speech and debate clause, and you got yourself a world of hurt. And now you understand the headlines of why they're going after Liz Cheney, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. You see my notes there on the right as I walk page by page. If you're my Restricted Republic family, you get the full extended version. It's going to continue on now. After I give you the recaps here. More than 1 terabyte of missing digital data. Well, we knew that. Well, seems it's all confirmed now, isn't it? Poof. What didn't they want us to see? All the findings of the Secret Service. President Trump did not attack the Secret Service. There was no pre-planned off-the-record move to the Capitol. There is no evidence that President Trump agreed with rioters chanting anything about Mike Pence. But that goes to the Gallows story. Very intriguing. Sometimes it's what they don't investigate that probably could lead you down the path of truth. Hutchinson falsely claimed to have a drafted handwritten note for Trump. President Trump did not have intelligence indicating violence. Hutchinson lied about the classified status of documents to disparage Mark Meadows. Cheney and Cassidy Hutchinson attempted to disbar Stephan, her first attorney, so she can get a new one. Holy cow, you worked hard. According to this document, of course. But that's just, again, the tip of the iceberg, because we have more texts. We have evidence, according to Loudermilk, of collusion between Special Counsel Jack Smith and President Trump's adversaries. The indictments continue to fly, don't they? Chairman Loudermilk and the subcommittee have uncovered evidence collusion between the Special Counsel Jack Smith, the prosecutor appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland, wrapping him right into the fold. They, of course, referred to that HBO footage of Nancy Pelosi. In one clip, while being evacuated from the Capitol, Pelosi takes responsibility for the lack of security at the U.S. Capitol. We talked about that saga on and on, but it gets more interesting. They spend a lot of time in the Department of Defense, Miller in particular, and all the orders that Trump gave that were ignored. However, the subcommittee maintains that the D.C. National Guard delay in quelling the violence at the Capitol is central to the understanding the major security failures that occurred on January 6th. They said they were there, but they weren't. They were a mile or so away. And they hadn't begun the order to proceed to quell the violence. No, stand down. Christopher Miller dismissed President Trump's January 3rd, 2021 order to use any and all military assets necessary to ensure safety for the planned demonstration on January 6th, and it goes much deeper than that. The subcommittee's substantial investigation into the pipe bomb will be released as its own standalone report. Uh-oh. What did they find? They found a lot of footage. The committee's joint report examines the law enforcement response to the pipe bomb and the investigation into the pipe bomb suspect. I can't wait to read this. It's only days away. Of course, mainstream media is not covering it for it yet because they haven't had a chance to read it yet. I just wake up a lot earlier. And then the Gallows story. Why didn't they investigate it? Wait till you see the footage. Wait till you see what they have to show you. It was assembled and nobody touched it till over a day later. And nobody investigated who built it because it was such an amazing image, wasn't it? Put on the front page of mainstream headlines everywhere. Some of the most enduring and sensationalized images for this event of January 6th revolve around the construction of a makeshift gallows next to reflecting on the west side of the United States Capitol. And so they did a frame-by-frame review. And what they found was a lot of evidence of people coming in and out, building it unimpeded, but yet the FBI never investigated it. My friends, I told you this was a bombshell report that came out. I just wanted to cover the high-level details. If you want more and you're at Restricted Republic, hang on, because we're going to go through the document page by page. If you haven't joined the family over at Restricted, I hope you will, because we're going to kick this into a whole different level now. I love you all. Can't thank you enough for being here. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.